hello, and welcome to American in Yerevan. You are listening to 103.0 Radio Van with Ina MK.
And Steven Oxner, and today's the second day of spring.
The second day of spring.
Happy spring, Steven.
Happy spring to you, Ina, and happy spring to all of our listeners.
And pardon my voice, tonight, because I have a blooming flu on this wonderful spring day.
A blooming, it's nice, it's attractive.
Oh,
it's
thank you.
Low voice like
I
that
hope I don't sneeze during our
evening show
tonight.
Sneezes are also attractive.
Okay. Okay, everything is attractive, so
Today we're talking about spring and youth. Youth and spring. The two
Young
things
and free
that never last forever.
Oh, how wise.
Especially, I have heard in Yerevan that spring doesn't last very long. And I have this feeling already, because it came so early for me. For me, personally, it seems like way early for it to have started when it did, which was really, I think, a few days before March. It seemed like it was already, warm.
That's true.
Almost hot during the day. Almost to
all
the
of a
point where you
sudden.
kind of feel like that hot summer heat is on its way already.
Exactly, and all of a sudden you just realize that it's time to take out all your flip-flops and shorts and short-sleeve cloths, and you don't have enough time to wear all your light jackets and sporty
You have this
shoes.
light jacket that's been waiting all winter.
Yeah.
All winter the light jacket has been waiting. You get to wear it for half a day. And that's it.
That's it.
It's over. It's over. We'll be talking a lot about that today. But don't despair, because there is youth in age.
There is
the
youth
same
inside.
Way that there are spring feelings even in autumn.
Wow. I love your mood today, Steven.
And we have poems on their way. We have
quotes on their way.
And hopefully many interesting perspectives that you will have a good time listening to on this evening. We have an English-speaking program called American in Yerevan, which is going on now, and every Wednesday and Friday from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. here on Radio Van, as well as on our website, radiovan.fm, as well as through our app, Radio Van app. So don't go away. We're still here until 11, talking about youth and spring. The Youth by MGMT. Such a cool group. I used to listen to them all the time in college.
Have you watched this movie, The Kings of Summer?
The Kings of Summer? No.
It's
from
that movie.
Oh.
It's such an awesome movie. If you haven't, go ahead and watch it. I'm sure you're gonna like it.
Okay,
it's about these three guys who decide to live separately from their parents, so they run away from home and create their own house in the woods.
Oh.
And it's a youth thing. They want to feel like they're grown up enough.
How old are they?
Well, they're school kids.
Early teens?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
And they run away.
They make like a clubhouse to
live
in.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And it's so cool how they, speak about being so mature that we're real men. We can take care of ourselves, without our parents. And
whoa, cool.
How they look for food and they cannot find anything in the woods, and then they go and buy stuff from the store and cook it on fire.
That's awesome.
It's a funny movie, really. And there was this character, one of these guys, I forgot his name, but this is something hilarious. He's so awesome. His funny face. Well, if you watch it, we can discuss that later. But tonight, there is something I just cannot not speak about.
You cannot not speak about?
Yes.
What is it that you cannot not speak about?
Ladies and gentlemen, dear listeners, yesterday at 8 o'clock in the evening, when I entered the Puppet Theater, State Theater of Yerevan, and started to watch Steven's performance, which is named The Maxims of Peter Pockets. Well, in Russian, it's a different one.
Almost the same.
From the very first minute till the end, it was 50 whole minutes that I was shocked. I was just staring at Steven. I was like trying.
What is he doing?
What is he doing? It was so awesome. I mean, I really wish that tomorrow I'll be able to see the English version of it, which is, by the way, tomorrow you have your last chance to watch this performance at 8 o'clock in the evening.
Yes.
At the State Puppet Theater, the Maxims of Peter Pockets, where Steven speaks non-stop, loses like a tons of energy, singing, playing the guitar, harmonica, I don't know, doing all kinds of stuff. I'm not gonna tell all the secrets. Okay. Sure. But it's just worth to watch it.
It's
It was
interesting.
really, really, really awesome. Steven, you're so talented. From yesterday and on, I'm gonna be your fan.
Oh,
Okay.
Nina.
Yeah,
I've
and
been
I
your
need
fan
your
for a long time.
and I need
already.
your autograph now because tomorrow, if you're somewhere there in Hollywood playing in the movies and forgot about Armenia
That's
and
not gonna happen.
all the people that became your family.
So many different themes about youth and age are coming up in what you're talking about.
Yes, exactly. It was about youth yesterday.
Yeah, because it's this guy who has this dream when he was 20,
Yeah.
and he thinks all of a sudden that he's gonna
He's gonna die
in
when
11
he-
years, when he's 31.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he starts to live differently. He starts to really kind of rush through different things, and he's
Yeah.
really trying to figure out what it is. What is life? What am I here for?
He's
Is
really
it love? Then what's love?
He's in such a rush to
Yeah.
find answers to all questions.
Which seems like a lot of the youth, don't you think? A lot
Yeah.
of the youth of of every nation
Yeah, like maximalistic, like
are maximalistic.
Yeah.
They're trying to maximize
Mhm.
their time here. Yeah, like, oh, I
Right
don't
here,
have
right
enough time.
now.
I gotta do it. I gotta get there.
and I gotta
hurry.
take everything out of this moment.
Yeah,
I think that's
yeah.
what.
Which is it's cool because that's also
So
something
cool.
that can happen in age too. Which is I won't ruin it as well, but I think something that he learns eventually is that's like, oh, that was a gift. That he's thinking that he's gonna die for 11 years is a gift to him, because he starts to see things in a
Different
more valuable way or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
So don't miss
awesome.
it. Tomorrow
It
at
was
8 o'clock.
awesome.
We still have many, many, many tickets. This is the first
I
time
totally
we're doing it
recommend.
in Armenia.
Yeah, so you can win tickets tonight, right,
yes,
Steven?
yeah. If you
A
call
special
us
surprise from Steven tonight.
560-901, call us and talk about maybe your favorite aspect of spring or your favorite memory from your youth. I'll give you some tickets to the show tomorrow, and you can come see it's the Armenian premiere, actually, of The Maxims of Peter Pockets, this adaptation of the text
Such
by
a
Ivan
nice
Voropaev.
chance for English speakers to practice their knowledge of English, or
Yes.
to just check how much they are able to understand, or just to enjoy this whole performance of music and speech and movement and sense.
And sense,
And
yeah.
sense.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
most important part of the show. I have to say that, Mom, my sister, before I created the adaptation, my sister, who was at that time 7 years old, came to Russia, and she watched it in Russian. She didn't understand a
Wow.
word of Russian, not a single word. She still doesn't. Well, no, she says "na zdarovye." She knows how to say that.
Wow, that's a lot.
That's a different story. But she left feeling like that was so interesting. She
Yeah,
didn't
because
she
there
didn't
is
blink
so
the whole
much
time, even not
drive.
knowing a word of English. So I'd just like to say that if you are a bit worried about your English and if you'll be able to understand enough and if it's going to be interesting to you or not, it's not necessarily the kind of theater that you have to understand.
You have to understand
the
each and every
language of.
word.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it has a
it's
different
just
kind of drive.
you get the energy of youth. This is what it is.
Oh,
you
cool.
get this energy of youth performing on a stage.
Uh-huh. Thanks for that plug.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That's the truth. That's those facts that I just cannot leave out tonight.
That's what you could not.
I was
not
really
say.
impressed. Yes,
Ah.
I was so impressed. I went home and I went to sleep and I was thinking and thinking and thinking. You know, there are some movies when you watch them, you just
Yes.
watch them and you forgot.
You go to bed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you forgot that you watched something that
Mhm.
night, and this was something different. It left impression. It left something to think over.
Aha.
So
Mulling
this is something
inside
that I
of you.
really like.
Cool.
Yeah, when you get something from whatever you saw, either whether it's a performance or a movie or
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the
or
goal. To be honest,
music.
what you just said is the best compliment there could be, because that seems like the goal of what we're doing when we're doing a creative project, is that we want some kind of impression to last with whoever experiences that project.
To last, or maybe to change something inside of you.
Yeah, maybe the change comes, but at least to stay with them, not to leave them as soon as they walk out the door. Yeah.
Yeah, if that stays with you, then it added something to you. Then it means something changed. So
Yeah.
it's unavoidable.
So, in dedication to the Maxims of Peter Pockets, which is tomorrow, the Armenian premiere, we're going to listen to Young, Wild, and Free by Snoop Dogg.
And go ahead and call us 560901 to get tickets to tomorrow's performance.
Spring is like a perhaps hand, which comes carefully out of nowhere, arranging a window into which people look while people stare, arranging and changing, placing carefully there a strange thing and a known thing here and there, changing everything carefully. Spring is like a perhaps hand in a window, carefully to and fro, moving new and old things while people stare, carefully, moving and perhaps fraction of flower here, placing an inch of air there, and without breaking anything. That's a poem by E.E. Cummings about spring.
And I have another a poem for you in Armenian,
Great,
Stephen.
here we go.
Are you ready?
Yes.
This is a poem by Vahan Terian, one of our most romantic poems, Armenian poems. He most of the time writes about love. And so here, check this out. Գարունը այնքան ծաղիկ է վառել, գարունը այնպես պայծառ է կրկին, ուզում եմ մեկին քնքշորեն սիրել, ուզում եմ անուշ փայփայել մեկին։ Այնպես կքվող է երեկոն անապ, ծաղիկներն այնպես նազով են փակվում, շուրջս վառված է մի անուշ տագնապ, մի նոր հուզում է սիրտս մրկում։ Անտես զանգերի կարկաչն եմ լսում։ Իմ բացված սրտում հնչում է մի երգ, կարծես թե մեկը ինձ է երազում, կարծես կանչում է ինձ մի քնքուշ ձեռք. Did you like it?
I did like it.
So, it's about, it's about spring and it's and the emotions that the spring brings along with it.
Oh, cool.
It's like the
which
the
ones?
expectations that you get from spring, and it tells about that, well, it's spring and it feels like somebody's hugging me, somebody's during spring, if you feel like somebody is near you and somebody's holding your hand or dreaming about you. It's all emotions. And they say that
Yeah.
people fall in love a lot when it's spring.
When it's spring, like it's a trick of the season.
It's
That
a
you're feeling like,
restart.
oh, I love that person, but actually you're just loving the feeling of new and interesting beginnings.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It's like you're ready. You prepare your soul for new emotions to be ready to fall in love again,
Mm-hmm.
even though you promised to yourself that it's
Never
not gonna
again.
never again.
I wonder, you know how school ends in the spring? Like the school year is, I don't know if it's that way in every country or there are some I've heard about year-round schools and stuff, even in America they have
Yeah.
these. But I
Well,
feel like most
here we
academic
have it too.
years
Yeah.
end when it's spring.
Summer holiday.
Yeah, it's like that somehow the season itself dictates our life cycle. The autumn is getting back to work, then winter is like just barreling through, trying to get to the end of it. Then spring comes, and it's like this feeling all of a sudden. I remember when I was a kid, I had this feeling just every single year. As soon as it got warm enough to go outside and stay outside after school is over and like play with my friends out.
Yeah, with no schedule, no must
Then you knew that was the beginning. Soon school would be over and you could just do whatever you want all summer.
Freedom.
Yeah, freedom. And that stayed with me actually now into adulthood. I have this feeling every year.
Because we stay child. Inside. We have a child that always stays there.
Inside.
Yeah.
Who are you? Hey, who are you? What are you doing inside of me?
I'm a child. I'm little Stevie.
Little Stevie. I just want summer break to come so I can go build tree forts and jump on a trampoline.
And do nothing.
Yeah.
And have no responsibilities.
No reading books.
So your favorite season is summer?
My favorite season is spring, actually. It just started. Because I don't know... Yeah, I guess it's that feeling. It's like there's something that's about to happen. I'm a sucker for suspense. I really like to have a suspenseful film. I like psychological dramas, or like, for example, like theater that keeps you really waiting for something to happen all the time.
I love that.
Yeah. So spring always feels that way to me. Like I'm waiting for something. Something's about to happen. It hasn't quite happened
that's
yet.
A really cool
It's still
feeling.
kind of cold at night, but something's about to happen. Yeah.
Isn't that connected to youth, though, again, when you're young?
Yeah.
Well, they say that when you're young, you always have this feeling that the future...
like things are moving forward.
And there is so much to expect for, that your life is still the best is yet to come.
Yeah, or it's like the most of it is still coming. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, there are a lot of really interesting connections between youth and spring.
And we have a lot of interesting quotes to read for you about spring and youth. This is what we're going to do next after music break.
Yes,
right?
Here we're going to have an advertisement with more music, and we'll come back to give you more quotes about youth and spring here on American in Yerevan. Don't forget to call us
560901
to win tickets to the show The Maxims of Peter Pockets, which will be tomorrow
for the first time in Armenia.
In English, the English premiere.
Yeah, English people, English speaker, English learners.
Yes.
Go ahead. Give it a try.
Give it a try.
Dare to call.
Even if you don't, if you don't, you can call or you cannot call today. But even if you don't call, the tickets are ridiculously non-expensive.
Not expensive. Yeah.
1,500 dram. People spend that on a taxi every day. People will spend that on coffee, way more than that on coffee. So, rush to the theater.
Rush and go ahead. Feed your soul.
But most importantly, stick around. We're still here until 11 talking about youth and spring. Radio. We are still here on American in Yerevan, still talking about youth and spring. And Ina promised us some quotes.
Yeah, after listening to this really mystic work, song, I'm ready to... Yeah. Yeah.
Here we go.
Here we go. About youth. Older men declare war, but it is the youth that must fight and die. That's what Herbert Hoover said.
Yeah, this is true. This is something that recently in American history, which will never be changed, unfortunately, Donald Trump has taken, I think, 5 states now in the presidential, not elections, but the what is it called? Ganki. So that this process, that they're going through to become president, and our president, the actual president, Obama
campaigns.
Yeah, thanks. The campaigns. He's doing quite well, better than anyone really expected, and something Obama said recently is that he does not think that Donald Trump will become president because he has a lot of faith in the American people and has a lot of faith in the fact that they know it's a serious job, and that when you are president, you have to make the decision to send young people to war, to send them into a firefight or not. Which is something that is just, it's like, it's like Hoover said, it's like a fact of our world.
No comment. Let's move on
Okay,
with
let's
this
move on.
one.
Yes.
Keep true to the dreams of your youth.
Yeah, that's some wisdom for
Yeah.
elderly life,
To
or
not
even
lose
young
your
life.
enthusiasm,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Keep your dreams.
Don't let anyone steal your dreams. The youth is the hope of our future. Yeah,
Okay.
this is what we hear a lot and a lot. But I think that not only youth, youth means a lot, but also elder people are the wisdom that stands behind this youth.
Right, and if in the future it's just enthusiasm and a lot of drive, then with no wisdom, then
Without
there's
yeah.
not much hope in that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Youth smiles without any reason. It is one of its chiefest charms.
Ah,
Well,
that's
actually-
one of my daughter's chiefest charms, that's for sure.
Actually, I remember how much we used to laugh at the classes at school. It's like my friend and I, Anna, my best friend at school, we were like giggling, cracking up
everything.
all
Ah,
the
yeah,
time. And
yeah.
I was like, when I remember them, I'm like, we're so silly.
Yeah.
And especially when you cannot help laughing during the classes, when the the teacher with this serious face
Yeah.
tries to explain
Like,
something
you guys,
to
this
you.
is serious.
So it's cool to just laugh without any reason.
That's true.
Youth smiles without any. Yeah, I had this. Sorry. Youth is the gift of nature, but age is a work of art.
That sounds like a nice
Interesting.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Youth is happy because it has future.
Uh-huh. I don't think this is, again, I think something that you could argue, because technically the
Well,
future is nothing that
technically,
anyone
yeah.
has. It's not decided at all.
Yeah, you never
So
know
it's
what
like an
happens
illusion
tomorrow.
of youth. And that's like maybe not
Propaganda
real
of youth.
happiness. Yeah, especially if it goes away for everyone.
Yeah, maybe.
Scary.
Steve, I have two in Armenian and then
cool. Great.
a long one in English. Well, which you have translated actually. Okay, here we go. Mitsakov garunchiga, which means we use that a lot. Which means there is no spring with only one flower. Spring cannot come with only one flower.
What is the meaning?
The
of
meaning
that
is
phrase?
that well, it's not only one person that can make a change, or we need a
like
lot.
you can't do things alone.
Yeah,
Right.
something like that.
That's cool. And the spring doesn't come with just one flower.
Yeah. Garnan garna, kovakan ashnan hava. Well, this is really a folk one. Means that in spring, lamb is good. In autumn, the chicken is good.
To eat?
Yeah.
I wonder why.
I don't know if it has a really, really deep meaning in it.
It's
That's
just
what our-
it's a culinary rule. It's wisdom for the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
In the spring, lamb is good. In the fall, the hen.
The hen is good. Okay, here's this one. That actually a fusion of youth and spring all together. So
Oh, cool.
check this out. If
Yeah.
in the early springtime of youth you were able to look behind those external features and charm more, to see there is something more, see that thing that eventually develops into a mature adult feeling, then the autumn and the winter, these two people could join together and they would live life in happiness.
Oh, cool. Ah, yeah. Because the early springtime of youth always seems so
Like
much
crazy.
about... Yeah, it always seems so
crazy.
much about who's the most... I remember this in high school, for example. The people who were most, like, outgoing and charming, and the ones that were...
And
that were able
beautiful.
to... Yeah.
Yeah, and cool looking.
Yeah, the cool-looking ones. If we could have seen more back
The
then through
popular
that.
guys and popular girls at school, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I remember that.
Well, that's great. That's a great selection of quotes about spring and youth. Thank you, Ina.
Thank you, Stephen,
so much.
for helping with some of the translation.
You're very, very welcome. Stick around. We're still here listening to When You're Young.
And we have a lot more to say. By the way, don't forget to call.
Yeah, 560-901. Listening to Young at Heart. It's now 10:30 listening to American in Yerevan.
And it is so important to stay young at heart.
Yeah, which I would like to talk about next, because there is this film, Youth. Have you seen this film?
Which I have watched recently.
Oh my gosh, such a cool film by the same director that made The Great Beauty.
Grande
Bellezza.
Bellezza. Yeah.
Wow, super cool film
It's like
about this
art
magical
movie. This is how I see it. Like
it's an art movie.
Aesthetic.
Ah, I see what you mean. It's like
More.
the movie could be about anything. It's so beautiful that you just watch
just
it.
the scenes,
Yeah.
that are, that stay in your head as picture, like paintings or something, like an exhibition. This is how I feel.
That's cool. It's like an exhibition film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really. Every single frame you could stop, and it could be a beautiful picture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very, very cool film about mostly this. It seems mostly centered around the friendship that one composer has with his friend, who's a movie director, and they're both in their, I would say, 70s or 80s, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe they say it, but I don't
they
remember.
have such funny dialogue.
They have great dialogues
about their health,
about their past, about how many times they've gone to pee today, and they're at this like relaxation center.
How many drops today?
And I think that a lot of what this film is about is this feeling that people get when they're in their when they're in their elderly years, trying to go always back to what it was when they were young.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the director is trying to do a new film, and he's working with all of these young writers and trying to help them write this film, and they're trying to help him write this film, and he's teaching them a lot, and he has like this feeling like of things moving and moving and moving until the character that is played by Jane Fonda comes to tell him that she's not going to be in his film, and that the film won't exist if she's not in it, and he needs to quit because he's over the hill.
Yeah, he's done.
He's done. And he can't handle it. He can't handle that feeling.
Okay, don't let anyone make you feel like you're over the hill.
Right.
Right?
Which is exactly the message that the other friend gets from something this friend does, I won't say, where he goes and he returns back to the Queen of England is asking him throughout the film to do his what is called the Simple Songs cycle, something he wrote.
And he refuses
and he
to
refuses
do that
because
he's
dedicated
to
his wife, and his wife was the only one who ever sang it.
Mm-hmm.
But he decides to go back and do this song again. I thought about this too. There are young people in this film too, and did you notice that a lot of the young people in this film are
like
constantly
old.
Yeah, they're constantly trying to look and act older.
This is the funniest thing about life. When we're young, we hurry up to get old.
Yeah, we're eager to grow up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To look like we're so mature with that we know everything, that we're grown up and we're allowed to do anything. And when we eventually do grow up, become adults, we're so eager to go back there.
Oh gosh, yeah. I even feel this. I feel like I'm still quite young in terms of the years that I've been on this planet. I remember when I was a kid, my mom used to say that she just wishes so much she could go back to being my age, because it was so carefree and there was nothing to worry about and there was so much potential, and I guess the freedom was the thing she was missing. And I remember thinking, like, are you kidding me? You have so much freedom. You're an adult. You can do whatever you want, whenever you want. Go, to movies when you want, eat cookies when you want. You have so much freedom. How could you want to be a kid again? But now, in my late 20s, I'm even thinking, oh gosh, maybe she was right.
Well, you know what, Steven? I've known so many young people, like guys and girls, that they are just old. They are so old.
There's a word for this, jaded. Mm-hmm. Like they're jaded. Mm-hmm. They're like, yeah, everything is, it's like all not worth it.
Yeah, and exactly the opposite. I know people that are old, really old, like
in years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
They have more enthusiasm than you and I have.
Uh-huh.
They are more energetic.
Yes.
They have ideas every day. They have motivation to create new stuff every day, to wake up, to live, to enjoy this life. And this is what I'm trying to say, is that everything is in here, inside, in your head, and inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
These people.
It's like a relationship to life. What is your relationship to life?
Exactly.
If it's young or old? Yeah.
And it's not necessarily that these people who I was speaking about with all this enthusiasm, it's not necessarily everything it was okay with them and everything was just right in their life. Just the opposite. These people had so many trials in their life, so many difficulties.
And going through them.
Yeah,
somehow.
and going through that, they start to value every single day that they have. Maybe they think they have left. Or I don't know. It's just about personality and how you feel.
There's a great song by Bob Dylan about that. He said he has all of these examples of how he used to be, and he says, but I was old back then. I'm younger than that now.
Cool.
Which is a cool song about growing younger. Everyone says growing older, but he was growing younger in that song.
This is really cool, and this is so important to be that way.
Yeah.
I think.
So in theme with this, I would like to listen to Charles Aznavour, who is such a cool guy, who I didn't know about actually before I moved to Armenia. Can you imagine?
Wow, cool.
I'd never heard of him. I had heard him, I just didn't know it was him before, especially singing with Edith Piaf. But
he's a great performer, great singer, and great person.
Humanitarian person, very much. He's gonna sing this song right now, Yesterday When I Was Young. We'll listen to it and be right back. This really does seem kind of like the problem of life, right? That when we were young, everything tasted great. Everything had excitement. And now, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like yesterday was better than today.
Yeah.
But no. The best is always yet to come.
Well, no, I think even that
today,
is incorrect.
No, okay, today is the best day.
Right. It seems like the thing going on now is, well, first of all, the only thing that exists. Because the past isn't around anymore and the future has not yet come. Yeah. So maybe there's an art in living as well, that now is the thing. Now is the thing. To taste what is going on now. And maybe it seemed so cool in the past because when we were younger, our channels were open. You know, like the tastes were crazy.
New.
Yeah, and new to us. Yeah. Yeah.
But another art of living is to create new stuff every day, to notice.
Yeah. Well, to be aware.
To notice and to be astonished by things, to be admired by things.
To admire things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To admire things like nature and stuff, because it's never old enough. Like, for instance, nature can never be old to not pay attention to it or to admire it.
Yeah, sure.
There's
because nature's always changing.
And it's always new.
Yeah.
And you can never live long enough to get to know all of it.
That's true.
So what are your associations with spring, Stephen? Like the first signs of spring, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe inside you, and
I remember when I was a kid, the first thing
sense-wise
I always noticed was that I would walk outside and my body, I wouldn't cringe. Like, it's pretty much warm inside most places, and when I would walk outside in the winter, I would feel like my body would go, cold. Oh, it's cold outside. And then when spring came, it would be like I'd walk outside and it would be,
you feel like taller?
My body would, it was like my body would just stay relaxed, like there was no change in temperature, and I had this feeling like, oh, that's spring. Yeah. But of course, there were other things. Do you have any associations you have with
the first thing that comes to my mind is the smell. I just smell spring in the air.
Yeah.
Kind of like
Like the
smells
earth
like
is
spring.
thawing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love that smell. Oh, spring is the coolest.
Also, your heart starts to beat faster. You have this, just like you said, the expectations of something new.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like
Something's
something I
gonna
notice
happen.
now in my life. Like maybe I don't feel the temperature as much as I feel now. Like my internal existence and how that changes, and then I suddenly realize, oh, maybe I'm a little more optimistic now because it's spring.
And you know, that mood makes you like a magnet to attract good things into your life.
Yeah. Maybe
So
that's
it's-
why I always feel like things are happening more like lively. It's livelier to live during spring to me. Like just the things that are going on around me. You know?
Yeah, it depends on
Yeah.
the inner moods and feelings
And
that you.
I don't think I'm alone, you know. I noticed this especially when I lived in Moscow. There's this writer, Viktor Pelevin, who writes all of these really wild and crazy books. And in one of his books, the first thing he does is he describes the sky in February, and he describes it as the feeling that you're underneath a giant mattress on which God is sitting.
So it's like that.
Yeah, like it's like bearing down on you with God's weight. And when spring comes in Moscow, it's like that weight gets lifted off of everyone, and it's like everyone changes. You see around you all of these people start to
because
like
they see
run
the
on the streets,
sun.
and they're smiling, and like it's like their bodies have thawed.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the sun brings along, drags away the depression.
Yeah, the sun, that vitamin D.
Yeah.
You gotta get that D.
And of course, the trees are blooming, the flowers are there, and the women's 1 month coming.
Yeah, it's on its
soon.
way.
Yeah,
Just a couple more days until March 8th.
just a couple more days, and we're gonna have a whole episode on this.
A whole episode on the 8th of March.
Yeah,
Yes,
and the
it's
Women's
coming.
Day, and of course, the most horrible part for men is which is
Oh,
course,
the delivering of
the
plant
flowers.
corpses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the plant corpses. And expensive plant corpses.
Oh, right, because you were telling me that the prices go up during that time.
Yeah, this is what I really
so
want
buy
to
your
talk
flowers
about.
now.
Is there somebody who could control this disaster of? I don't know. It's because it's horrible. Like a little branch they're selling for an enormous amount of money. I
Yeah.
don't know. Because the same thing
Capitalism.
happens. Yeah, same thing happens during New Year's when all the some of the products get more expensive.
Right.
So, I would like to just ask somebody.
Yeah, put a
Who
call
could-
out there.
yeah.
Anyone who can fix that problem, the problem of
Please.
expensive flowers during the
It's
days
for
before
your
March
own
8th.
sake, because our poor men are getting bankrupt.
Yes, by all of the plant corpses.
Yeah, for example, my mom doesn't really like these kind of flowers.
Oh, she
Because-
doesn't?
Because she loves flowers that are actually growing.
Yes, I think this is the greatest gift you can give, is a plant that
Plant
that is still
That
alive.
stays at your home.
Yeah, and you can care for and watch grow.
Mm-hmm.
This is something actually that I gave Zara, my partner, my wife, a pomegranate tree
Mm-hmm.
the first time I was in Armenia, and we still have it. It's still growing. And today we were walking down the street, and she said, "I trimmed the pomegranate tree today." And I said, "You just wanted to tell me that? This was just something you wanted to say?" She was like, "Well, yeah, I thought about it because I saw that the trees are starting to bloom." And they actually are. I looked, and I didn't notice before. The trees are starting to grow leaves now. It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
Spring
the grass
is here.
is
Spring
green.
is here.
Are you gonna grow pomegranates, Armenian pomegranates at your home?
On the tree.
American in
Well,
Yerevan
the tree
growing
is-
pomegranates at his home.
The tree is
Ladies
still
and
quite
gentlemen.
small, so we'll have to see
Yeah.
if the pomegranates
Promise
come.
you'll share the fruit with me when
Yeah, of course.
when it's
of
ready.
course. Yes, yes. It's a thing to
Okay,
share.
Steven.
Right now we'll listen to young single and sexy. It is now 10:55 and 6 seconds in Yerevan, on American in
On
Yerevan.
this beautiful spring evening, we're
And
almost
that
done.
means that we are coming to a close.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so sad how that works. But do not despair. We'll be back on Friday. And on this Friday, Ina, we have two guests.
Cool.
Eva and Renata are going to come. They're Peace Corps members living in Armenia. I met them in Yerevan and invited them over, and they're going to come and talk about their experiences because they're clean off the boat from America, living in Armenia.
Wow.
And they have a
just
lot
like
of things
you.
to talk about, I think.
Americans in Yerevan.
Yeah,
We have more and more Americans in Yerevan. People, come on.
Yes. Well, these ones, they don't live in Yerevan. I just met them here. They live in... They'll tell us where they live. One of them
Okay.
lives in Gyumri, I think, and...
Stepanavan?
No, it's not
think?
Stepanavana.
Okay.
Forgot where the other
one
one
of the
lives.
regions.
But they're going to
Yeah.
tell us all about that and their experiences with the Peace Corps and what the Peace Corps is and what it means to be a member of the Peace Corps living
Their mission.
as an American in Armenia, not in Yerevan.
Oh, this is gonna be
Yeah.
cool.
That's
so
Friday.
make sure you listen to our show that night and call with all your interesting questions.
Yes, for our very
And
special
Steven,
guests.
Yes. Did you know that tonight we had a premiere of song Love Wave
Yeah.
by Iveta Mukuchan,
Right.
who is gonna present Armenia at Eurovision 2016 this year.
Cool.
So we're gonna root for you, Iveta.
Yes.
Good luck to you at Eurovision, and I think it's worth to listening to this
Yeah,
song
let's listen
tonight.
to this. Let's listen to this song, and don't forget that we are always here for you online at radiovan.fm, where you can watch us as well.
Yeah,
on
and
our
also
high-tech cameras,
yeah,
which are doing streaming of both sound and video. I'm waving to the camera right now.
And also you can go and like us on our page and watch our previous episodes, listen to them, have an idea of what we're speaking about, maybe also share with your ideas what subject are you interested
Yes,
in.
yes.
We're always open to answering your questions and having new ideas on what to speak about.
And always tell your friends abroad, because they can listen to us online, not only on our radio, but at radiovan.fm. American in Yerevan with Ina MK.
And Steven Oxner.
Hey, it's me.